Tomorrow's news well, it's actually the weekend news. A convicted felon raised $200 million. I can't believe it. That's crazy. How could a convicted felon raise $200 million in like 4 days? It's crazy. Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the show. I'm JJ. I guess I'm the skipper. Oh, that's Thurston Howell. I don't know what's up with the Gilligan's Island thing, but good morning, folks. We meet here Monday through Friday on youtube.com look right up there. Can you read? I don't know if you guys are entirely illiterate. youtube.com @internetdads or rumble.com/internetdads. We meet here Monday through Friday. We drink coffee and we talk about the news, culture, pop culture, comic books, if I can squeeze it in.
You want to talk about all kinds of stuff today, JJ?
I mean, honestly, what's on my mind is like there's 2 campaigns on Indiegogo that I have yet to go over there and buy the book because I need to, but I haven't done it yet. So, like, I feel guilty because I was like, I swear, bro, I'm gonna back your book, and then I'm like, but I got kids, and I think I hurt my foot, and go to the water park. There's just things happen. So. Yeah. Yeah. It's basically there's a percolating sense of guilt. Not really guilt. I don't actually think I feel the feeling of guilt.
No, you want to spend your money on the stuff that you used to spend your money on, but now you're responsible.
Yeah, I know.
You're going to be responsible, but being responsible sucks sometimes because I really would like to play the new video game too.
Yeah, Who said that's going to be fun? Oh, I got a little bit of a news nugget about that. We'll talk about something. I got one of those. Don't let me forget. Good morning, everybody. Oh, cheers. What do you say for morning?
Clinky.
I don't know.
Drink your coffee.
How'd you break your foot? We got to know this is the first story of the day.
I'm not sure. Maybe I'm old and I ran or something, and I don't know. And I'm not entirely sure it's broken, but I'll tell you what, it don't work right because it hurts to walk around,
dude.
And I looked at my feet, it's been probably like a month. I've been like, this hurts. So this weekend I was like, like for the first time in weeks, I was like, maybe my foot's swollen. I look down and my right foot is like the normal whatever, and the left one is like swollen. I'm like, oh. Maybe I've hurt myself.
As we get older, have you ever gone through your desk at work and you're cleaning it out and you're grabbing the stuff from the back and you come across an old rubber band that's been in there for a couple of years?
That's me.
And then when you stretch that rubber band,
this guy still works. This guy still works.
Cracks and breaks.
Yeah. That's how I did. That's me. That's a metaphor for me right now. So I was like, my wife was right. I'm gonna have to go see a doctor. Now I got to figure out how to die. Now I am like, I downloaded my insurance app or whatever, and I signed in, and I was like, how do you find a doctor? I have no idea.
I don't. That's why I don't go to the doctor.
Can't stand it. Yeah. So, so that's what I'm dealing with this weekend. Yeah.
Okay.
So instead of doing anything that is like, probably normal people would like have already made an appointment and be seeing a doctor today. And I was like, I'm just going to fold down my socks so it's doubled up and lace up my shoe real tight.
You ain't telling me nothing.
Yeah, smartest people on the internet right here. Don't worry. I can't solve my problems, but I can solve yours. Don't worry.
That's right. That's right. Do as I say, not as I do.
Yeah, for real. Kids do not do what I'm doing. All right. Hey, here's the news.
You just opened some crazy website that made you go robot.
No. I mean, I got all these AP because you stuck them in here. I didn't do this.
Don't open that crap.
Okay.
Let me do it.
Hey, get Trump. Listen, sir. Respect, but you can't have all the screen. You can have a lot of the screen.
Only story that I've seen all weekend, people talking about. I mean, this is just like we knew would happen.
Yeah. Yes. And Democrats still think that they're winning on this. They're like, yeah, we got him. He's a convicted felon. Nobody's going to vote for him. Trump's numbers are like, he's raising like tons of money. His independents that are like, I hate Trump, but At least he's not. At least he's not framing his political opponents.
So on TikTok, they have these people that will go live, and then they have all the Trump stuff, and they sit there and they try to generate trolls, and they try to generate, and it makes them money just by sitting there doing silly stuff. But another thing that you can do is if, like, let's say you're live and you're a Biden supporter, and I'm live and I'm a Trump supporter, we can go and do this little battle to where whoever gets the most donations and clicks wins the battle.
Okay.
So I've seen dozens and dozens of those over the weekend because one person is high, a Trump, person, and the other person. I'm seeing a lot of re-elect or elect Michelle Obama for president.
Really? Yeah. Who wants that? Guys,
there's a couple of hundred people that obviously want that.
When has that guy ever said anything that was like, yes, that's what I want to represent me?
But what I was getting at is I'm seeing these all over this platform this weekend. And
can you show me an example? Is that because I don't know what you mean?
No.
Oh, okay. It's a live thing. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And all these Trump people are in there saying the same thing. I'm voting for a felon. Looks like I'm voting for a felon. I don't care. And it's just those people are not only doubling the Biden numbers, they're like quadrupling the Biden numbers on that platform. So.
Well, okay, so I heard somebody make this argument, and I was like, this is brilliant. Joe Biden made Donald Trump a convicted felon. Well, not exactly, but pretty much, right? Or another way to think of it is this. Joe Biden made Donald Trump the outlaw candidate. The outlaw. There are a lot of people in America are like, yeah, fuck that. I'm voting for the outlaw.
We like cowboys in America. We invented cowboys.
Oh my God. Yes. Yeah. Donald Trump raised $200 million. So let's just read this real quick. The Trump campaign has raised more than $200 million since he was found guilty by disgraced District Attorney Alvin Bragg and in the falsified business records case on Thursday, according to the son Eric Trump. Out of 200 million, 70 million donations were from small dollar donors, which means like if I was going to go donate to a political president, I'd be like, I'll give you $5, dude, $10. I don't know. Do you know how much? Do you know?
$250.
That's big. That's bigger.
Donations are probably $500 and less.
No, small donations are like less than $40.
Oh,
it's
really?
Between five. Yes, it's small. It's small. So $70 million made out of $20 bills. Think about that. That's how many donations came in. At least 30% donors were first-time donors to a political campaign, and Trump told that's what Eric told Maria Bartiromo on Sunday about
this. Might be a little inside information, but as I was leaving my house about 37 seconds ago, I asked my wife, what are we up to now? And she said, just in terms of small dollar, we're well over $70 million. This is $21 donations, $43 donations, right? Small dollar donations. If you add the large dollar donations to it, you're over $200 million. But you're over $70 million. And by the way, Maria, 30% of those people have never been seen before by a political party, right? I mean,
So this is new. No, like Joe Biden and his scheme to imprison Donald Trump has brought in people who otherwise would be like, nah, I just don't care that much, man. I don't care that much. And now they're like, I care enough. I care enough to give you $20. You know how hard it is to part me with $20?
Yeah, no kidding. No kidding. I went to pick up our daughter last night at her job, and she came out at 9:30, and she tapped on the window, and she's like, she's the manager, and she's 19, and she's the manager, and she was like, I sent the other two people home because they were under 18 and they had already stayed long, but I've still got to do dishes. So do you care to sit here and wait? And I'm like, no. So I sat there from 9:30 till 11 o'clock. And what I was getting at is I'm looking over at the gas at Walmart and I'm like, $2.97? Holy crap. I made such a big deal about it. I started factoring in my head. I'm like, oh man, I can get $20 is a lot of damn money for the average person, man.
Really? I mean, seriously. Like, dude, of course.
That's why we get so pissed off when we have to pay the prices that we do about stuff. We didn't pay
I
that
mean,
much 3,
I
4 years ago.
I realize there's people out there that are like $20. That's nothing. You don't understand. Whoever you are that's thinking that in your head, you do not represent most people, because most people are in debt. Most people don't have $20 to scratch together for something they're never going to see the benefit of
That's
directly.
why, I mean, I don't know if it's a generational thing or what. I don't think it is a generational thing, but I think that's why I always had a problem when you see these people in these cities that would order like a freaking foot-long sandwich and chips and a drink from Jimmy John's and had it door dashed to them, and it's like $40 freaking dollars.
Right. It's nuts.
And they do it all the time. It's like, what is wrong with you? You literally paid $40 for a $5 sandwich that you could make at home
Yeah, I don't know.
because
I don't
you're
know, man.
lazy and you don't want to go get it. I never understood that. I don't know if
Okay.
it's a generational thing or what.
Okay, so that's pretty much that. So there was this other story. I posted this over the weekend. I think I'm going to take this clip and work it into our next outro video, but I haven't had time to work on that yet. Here's a story from scanner.com. Biden flashes enigmatic smile when asked about Trump blaming him for criminal trial.
A couple of times. I've seen this in a couple of places, and it was sent to me over the weekend.
Do we have? Let's see if we have. Let's see how high res this video is.
Thank you very much.
Mr. President, can you tell us, sir, Donald Trump refers to himself as a political prisoner and blames you directly. What's your response to that, sir? Do you think the conviction will have an impact on the campaign? We'd love to hear your thoughts, sir.
Should he not be on the ballot, sir?
That's one of two things, period.
I'm going to go back so we can see if I can rewind it to the to that moment.
Birds are making noises this morning out there. It's either one of two things to me. To me,
okay.
That's either one of two things. That is an evil smile.
Sure looks like it. Yeah.
That is a smile of a dementia patient that doesn't really understand anything. He is programmed to go up there and say certain things, and he's or it could be the mixture of the two. He could have, turned around and made that little evil smile and realized maybe I shouldn't do this right now and start. His evil smile, watch his eyes. His smiles went from, kind of a nefarious eyes to a kind of a confused eyes there real quick. I've watched that video 2 or 3 times this weekend. Play it again.
Let's see if I can. Here, I can do it on. This is Benny Johnson's actual post here. I'm gonna turn the volume. Yeah, okay. Here's the volume. Here's the sound.
Mr. President, can you tell us, sir, Donald Trump refers to himself as a political prisoner and blames you directly. What's your response to that, sir?
See, look at those eyes. Okay, don't
can't
look at
tell
his
me.
Smile. Look at his eyes.
Yeah, no, he's done this. Look, I'm not a person that actually believes in fanciful reality like all the time. So, I know a lot of people are like, oh, someone can be demon possessed. And I believe in demons, but I think a lot of times people are just mentally ill or whatever. That's not a good guy. That's a very, very bad guy. And if you made the argument like, oh, Joe Biden's been possessed by a demon, I'd be like, that's an argument worth considering. That's an argument worth considering. He's just been accused by the press or asked by the press, hey, your political opponent says that you are jailing him because he's your political rival. How do you respond to that? Oh, here's a shit-eating grin. Ha ha ha. Isn't it funny? We got him, didn't we?
Look what I'm saying. Go forward just a little bit and watch his eyes. Watch how much his demeanor.
Do you think the conviction will have an impact on the campaign?
And now he's got this little.
We'd love to hear your thoughts, sir.
Well, listen, I tell you what's going on. He heard the question. He understands the question, but his dipshit dementia-ridden brain couldn't think of something pithy enough to respond to the press that would get past his handlers. So he was like, I better shut up. I better just shut up or they're gonna, whatever, behind the stage. This guy's evil, man. I mean, look, maybe you guys out there think it's okay to take showers with your daughters at too young of an age, but or at any of an age.
Ugh. Look,
But
this dude has been bought and paid for since before we were born.
yeah, 50 years.
Seriously. I'm not even exaggerating or making a funny when I say that. This
Right.
guy has been owned since before me and you were born. So
Yeah.
this has all been set up and planned, and he's playing his part. And if you want to believe one of those crazy conspiracy theories that Joe Biden and Hillary Clinton and all of them have been executed, and these are complete fakes that are going out and whatnot, then
Clones? Are they clones?
I don't know. Do you have
I
the
tell you
mark
what,
on your arm?
I don't believe in the masked impersonator. Okay, I know that some people have said,
No,
there's tabs or whatever.
No. You can't sit here and have this internet dad show and be this crazy and have all this crazy stuff and not accept the fact that sometimes there are masked impersonators out there. This freaking leaders have been using doppelgangers
Sure,
for
yes.
literally centuries.
All right.
Centuries. And so you don't think if Caesar would have had a freaking the ability for somebody to put on a mask and have some AI crap to make him sound just like him or whatnot, that he wouldn't have got out there and gave that damn speech that day? You're crazy.
Well, look, there was it was last summer, or maybe it was 2022 or 2023. There were stories about Vladimir Putin sending doppelgangers to different cities and that they were doing appearances. And those, I'm like, yeah, that's probably actually a legit job. There's some guys there, and they didn't exactly look like Putin.
I watched a show one time, and I do not remember what the show's name was. It was on what the crap's going on outside? It was on A&E. It was one of those shows. It was I don't remember. It'll come to
Spy
me.
show.
American. It'll come to me in a minute. But the guy was basically in the Iraqi army. He lived over in the United States now, or in Britain or something, but he was in the Iraqi army back in the 90s when he was young and like 17 or 18. And they came up to him one day and they basically like took him to the palace and they put him in front of like Usaid Hussein or whatever one of the freaking Saddam's sons. And they were like, you look just like him. So now you're his doppelganger and you're going to do this. And they put him through all kinds of torture and all this crap. He had to learn and memorize how to walk and hold his cigar and do in this. He explained everything. They tortured this freaking guy and basically forced him to be the Usaid Hussein. We wanted them to.
Yeah.
That he had. And he was forced to be his doppelganger. And he tells this story, and when they liberated and did all that and how he came to America and gave the Americans some information and stuff like that, because he was basically forced to do this and because he looked like him so much. So these people, I wouldn't, if some ugly bitch ever tried to go for president, look like me, I'd be like, no.
I'm not saying that no leaders in no countries have doppelgangers that are used to represent them in public places, but generally not when they're speaking, I don't think. And it's usually in case in case somebody tries to kill the president, here's a fake one.
We're talking about Joe Biden. You don't think if you could put
can you imagine how insulting it would be?
Articulate? Man,
True Namen Shaman of pressure.
Huh?
True Namen Shaman of pressure. No, you imagine how insulting it'd be. Like, you are a spitting image of Joe Biden. I mean, what red-blooded American would be like? Oh, thanks. I also take showers with my kids. You don't
even have to be a spitting image of Joe Biden. The technology that we have for special effects makeup is unbelievable. You wouldn't believe it. You think you're watching a Star Trek episode.
That's true. I mean, it is true. I've listened to like CIA operatives that used to like work in Russia back in the like 1980s, 1990s, and like they'd have to they work out of the embassy, and the Russians know which people are work in the embassy, so they have to sneak out of the embassy with a kit and then like change their entire look like on the fly to enable to meet clandestinely with like assets and stuff like that. So like, and we did this a long, long time ago. It's not just
there's the interview with the older lady here. It was like in the 2000s they interviewed her, but she was like something with the CIA in the 80s with Reagan, and they were doing this technology or whatnot was declassified, and that's why she was talking about it. And she was talking about how they went in to brief Reagan and some of the people that day, and she was sitting in there, and they introduced her, and she said, "We're here to talk about this new, covert technology with masks and blah blah blah." And he said, "Okay, well, let's see it." And she goes, "Well, you're looking at it," and she had it on. And she had completely fooled all of them. And they said they went around and looked and pulled and looked at all this, and then they asked her to take it off. And she said, if we had that in the 80s, imagine what we have now.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
I used to watch that show, and now it's on Netflix, a couple of the season. It's called Face Off. And I think it's on like A&E. And what they do is they take these aspiring makeup artists, visual makeup artists, and they give them each challenges, and then they judge them, and then they kick one off, and then the one they give like a contract to work in studios and stuff like that. But you see some amazing freaking stuff that these people do with mold and plastic and makeup and stuff.
Yeah.
It's absolutely unreal what you can do with makeup and stuff.
All right. Well,
I'm just telling you, don't dismiss. You might not believe that every time Joe Biden gets up there, there's some guy underneath a mask, but don't dismiss the possibility that sometimes there very well may be. I'm a people watcher, and sometimes people's mannerisms change dramatically. And I'm just like, well, that's not the real Biden because of the way that he's acting.
So I'm going to steal Dave's thunder because this is kind of on topic, but it's not political. But did you see the video he posted in our Discord server, which you can get to in the link in the description below? Did you see that video he posted?
Above JJ's head.
As long as I'm not in the way. Check this out, Deke. And also not Deke, all you millions of people out there watching us live. We're so appreciative.
1.4 today.
Joe Biden is a Manchurian president, says Brian. And, I think there's a strong argument for that. Manchurian candidate is like somebody who's been programmed by an adversary and then planted in our office. There's a book and a movie about this kind of a thing. But check this out. Where's my share button? Here we go. Look at this.
I am not Morgan Freeman, and what you see is not real. Well, at least in contemporary terms, it is not. What if I were to tell you that I am not even a human being? Would you believe me? What is your perception of reality? Is it the ability to capture, process, and make sense of the information our senses receive? If you can see, hear, taste, or smell something, does that make it real? Or is it simply the ability to feel? I would like to welcome you to the era of synthetic reality. Now, what do you see?
Pause it.
Nothing is real, dude.
I just caught the very end of that, but I've seen it before.
Yeah.
Listen to his inflection is a big thing with me. Okay. Yeah. And I try to teach new kids this when they get on the radio because you're so scared, and I was scared, and you just kind of want to read the thing and talk and blah, 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 blah. And, but inflection means a lot, and we lose that in text. And I don't know, maybe that's why it's being, I don't know, accepted with this younger generation, the inflection, because I always used to, and I'm going to curse here. I'm going to curse, so use earmuffs. earmuffs, I'm going to use curse word twice, but I used to use this word with inflection. Okay. These two words, fuck you or fuck you. I did not.
Very
I
different.
said the exact same thing.
Yeah. But you're communicating two very different messages.
Very different messages.
Yeah.
Inflection is a very huge part of human communication, and that AI has no inflection. If it does, it has very little inflection, and the inflection is not on the words that I would be using the inflection on. And
So I think
I'm a performer on the radio, so I put probably a little bit more inflection on certain words and phrases that I shouldn't put inflection on.
I think perhaps part of what your issue is with is this guy right here, because this is a performance. This is a guy recording himself and then using AI to replace his face and his performance, his vocal performance.
Well, then it's probably his performance, because I
Right.
use AI and record my voice and then run it through AI to get a different voice sometimes. And
Yeah.
sometimes I have to tweak it because sometimes the inflection doesn't
Well, listen,
transpose.
you have to
correctly.
admit it's very close. You know, it is
very close. But I've been doing this for almost 30 years, and to a trained ear, I can pick out almost every time that that's AI.
So
I'm not good at it. Like, I'm not 100% perfect, but I can usually tell.
I have been saying, and a lot of people have been saying, but definitely I said on this show like last year, we're getting to the point where you already can't believe what the news is telling you, but you're literally not going to be able to believe anything you even see. Like, oh, I've got video evidence of this guy doing this thing. No, you don't. You have no idea. You have no idea what you're looking at. And we're getting to the point where complete fabrications are going to be indistinguishable from evidence of the real thing.
And you know what frightens me about this, about you and your type? No, and I'm not saying this as an offense.
No, I know what you mean, because I will think of evil ways to use this.
No, that's funny. That's the second. Yeah, no, that's number two. Damn.
How can I fuck somebody over with this?
The thing that I worry about that with you and the way that there's a lot of people that think your way, an overwhelming number of people that think this way. But when you said it's hard to believe anything with what we have, that also damages real things that maybe are out there. We've been having, like, I'm just going to use this one, just grabbing this one out of the air, Bigfoot. All right. We've been having Sasquatch sightings and stuff like that for forever, and legends of Yeti and all that crap,
Right.
in Native American cultures and stuff for a
Sure.
long time. And so now with technology, and we're getting all these videos and blah, 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 it's like you said, what to believe and what not to believe. And it could very well damage the credible stuff. If I put out one real Sasquatch encounter video and there's 50 fake ones, well, you're not going to believe any of them.
Right.
If you watch 49 fake Sasquatch videos and mine's number 50, well, you're not going to believe mine.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. There is reasonable doubt. Oh, we have video evidence. We have video evidence of you committing a murder. Do you? Because it's very reasonable that somebody could have taken that evidence and manipulated it and made it look like me.
There's that scam that is using AI voice of like a loved one, and they will call you, and it's your loved one's voice that says, like, they're using it with elderly people, and like they're saying, "Grandma, I need your help. Send me, this much money," and blah blah blah.
Oh, I've been abducted. They want some money dropped here. I mean, didn't we see a story like that? And wasn't there a case of a guy that like, didn't we cover a story about this like a week or two ago where a guy maybe even like murdered someone and then used AI to
the preacher, they claim that the woman's,
we don't know that he was murdered, but it's so sus AF.
Yeah,
and she killed herself. Yeah, she killed herself in the back of the head with a handgun, but she left a voice message. Well, imagine this. Imagine we have a conference call between, say, the president of the United States and the president of Ukraine, or dictator, because his presidency's expired and he's just going to stay in power, and Russia, and they're going to hash out some sort of a peace treaty, and it's a video call, so they really know they're talking to each other, or do they? How would they know?
Let me see.
How would
if
you
I
really
can
know?
Find these real quick. I was just farting around last week. In radio where you'll have like in between songs, you'll have the little identifier that's like 93.7.
Yeah.
Edge.
Station identifier or something like that.
So in the little identifiers in the morning, they might say your name. JJW. And they'll have somebody that says something. So I was farting around with these just to see what it would sound like.
I listen to Andy every morning. I never turn the radio off. He always plays something that you ain't heard in a long time.
I've got WCCK on in the house all day long.
Old Andy is my favorite old school DJ right there.
That's all you. You did all that yourself.
That's all. That's all me.
Hey, you be careful. I'm about to add to this flag that there's artificially generated content. I'm about to flag this video.
Look, this was a break that I did about, listen.
Country got some showers and thunderstorms, systems moving through, could be pretty severe at times.
You talking about intonation? That sounds artificial.
It won't rain out.
Yeah, it does. That I didn't use that because it does sound artificial. I even tried to. I recorded ambiance here in the background. I elevated it. I put it in.
The last time you did this, it was too clean.
Yeah, I ran it through an EQ and I puffed it up a little bit and put a little bit more bass in it, and I couldn't fix it. I couldn't make it sound like real.
Yeah.
So I'm just telling you, AI is you can't trust. Like JJ said, you got.
But you know what you can trust
every day.
You can trust us to be here every single day to tell you what's fake and what's not fake.
Right at 8:00 on the dot.
At 8:00 on the morning. So if you just hit subscribe and maybe hit that little bell.
If your clock says 8:05, you need to check your batteries.
Look, hey, a lot of people have been having electrical storms and your clock gets messed up. What are you going to do about that? Tune in to the Internet Dad Show, and we're going to help you out.
Okay. What else have you got? I don't know if I put.
I don't know. I was thinking about how great it is for people that pander to other people. I mean, a lot of times that's taken badly, but some people out there are just amazing. And it's okay for you to be pandered to if you're amazing.
All right, I'm going to go through a couple of stories here real quick for you, JJ. Hunter Biden and Jill Biden arrived for jury selection in his federal gun case. Look at this.
Oh, he brought his mommy. He brought his mommy to his gun trial. It's okay. Don't worry, Hunter. I have high confidence that despite all the evidence, the laptop, the video, the hooker blow, the video of you selfies running 187 miles an hour in a Porsche paid for by a foreign dignitary, I don't think you're going to get convicted, man. Don't worry about it.
That pen, your pen is.
Yeah, why don't you just take that off, you piece of shit?
I'm not even going to get into that.
So all right, there you go. So he's what's he going for? What are the charges exactly?
I don't care. It's not nothing's going to come out of it, and he's going to be innocent. He's innocent of all charges already.
I mean, it's Delaware, and he's a Biden. So what do you expect?
Innocent. Jeez, it's not like he's Trump, you asshole. Jeez.
Innocent until videoing yourself and admitting it on the internet that you're guilty.
Mm-hmm. In south of the border news, a scientist, a leftist, and a former Mexico City mayor all walk into a bar. That's not the start of a joke. That is Claudia Sheinbaum.
Uh-oh.
She is the new Mexican president. There she is with her green card or her driver's license or her Costco card. I don't know what the hell she's holding up there, but she's showing us that she's.
Dude, have some respect for legit Mexican identity. The Mexico's our important neighbor, important strategic partner.
They are a very important strategic. I have no problem with Mexicans. I just am wondering why she's showing her Sam's Club card there. I can also get a discount on televisions, Claudia.
It is kind of weird, right? Please do not steal my identity. Here's a close-up. Is it in focus? What? What are you doing, lady? I am the real person. I'm not a doppelganger. I have a
See?
card.
See,
This
They've
is
got a card.
this is how you do the doppelganger thing, and have people believe it. You walk around looking like the person, and also publicly carry identification. Very believable.
Now I have one. I have a story here that I saved because I know this one's close to your heart. You get very worked up about this story and anything about airlines and airplanes
Oh yeah.
anymore.
Okay. Yes.
Well, Southwest Airlines is back in court over the firing of a flight attendant who had anti-abortion views. I'm going to read this to you real quick. Southwest Airlines is set to
Oh,
return
my.
to federal court today in hopes of reversing an $800,000 award to a flight attendant who said she was fired for her anti-abortion views, and a judge's related order that the airline lawyers take a religious liberty training from a conservative Christian legal group.
Uh-oh.
Southwest argues that this flight attendant, Charlene Carter, was fired because she violated company rules requiring civility in the workplace by sending hostile and graphic anti-abortion messages to a fellow employee who was also the president of the local union. You like how they added that there?
Yeah. Yeah. Listen, you have free speech, but
but not to the president of the local union. Your ass is going to get fired. So that's exactly what happened.
Why that president of a member of the local union, even a member of the local union should be like, this is somebody who's probably not going to agree with me on this issue since they love abortion. The intersection of people that are presidents of unions and are conservative is like no intersection. Okay.
It says Carter called the union leaders despicable for attending the 2017 Women's March in Washington, where the participants protested the inauguration of then President Trump, who called for protecting abortion rights. Carter's attorneys argue in briefs that she made clear to management that she sent the material because she was a pro-life Christian, and as a Christian, she believes she must get the word out to anyone who touches the issue of abortion. They argued firing her violated federal law shielding employees from religious-based discrimination, and that Southwest management and the union, which complained about Carr's messages, should be held liable for her firing. After the trial, a Trump nominee president or U.S. district judge who joined the bench in 2019 ordered the airline to tell flight attendants that under federal law, it may not discriminate against Southwest flight attendants for their religious practices and beliefs. Instead, the Dallas-based airline told employees that it does not discriminate and told flight attendants to follow the airline policy that it cited for firing Carter. This is a long-ass article.
I wonder what the violent and graphic images were. Was she perhaps, like, I mean, you just can't send people pictures of dead babies. You can't do that. You can't do that. Even if you're like, isn't this evil? The person that gets him be like,
triggers anybody anymore.
I know.
I mean, when I'm like, okay, JJ, and supposedly this is freaking racist or
yeah, you're
something.
obviously
I don't
a
know
white
what the crap-
supremacist now
I don't-
because
And I mean, when you hold it down, that's supposed to be whatever. No, that is.
I thought it was supposed to be look at my penis.
If you look at this, if it's below your waist and you look at it, then that person gets to punch you in the arm.
Yeah.
That's what that game is. That's why people do that, to get you to look.
Absolutely.
It has to be below the waist. And if you look at this below the waist, then I get to punch you in the arm. That's how the game goes. That's the game. We don't keep points.
That is the game.
That's the game. On Friday when I had the story about North Korea that was sending poop-filled balloons over to South Korea.
Yes.
Well, South Korea is like, nuh-uh. They have nullified a peace deal to punish North Korea over trash-carrying balloon launches.
That's man. I mean, look, North Korea launched like 600 more. Their little poop export was so popular that they launched a bunch more. A total since last Tuesday, 1,000 North Korean balloons carrying manure, cigarette butts, and trash were discovered in various parts of South Korea. I tweeted about this on X. Sorry, I posted. I said, well, what else do you expect North Korea to export? This shitty country's only got shit. What are you going to do?
It said yesterday, South Korea said that it would take unbearable.
Yeah.
that's a weird word to choose. Unbearable retaliatory steps in response before North Korea abruptly announced it would stop flying balloons across the border. Why choose the word unbearable? I wonder if that's a different translation, if that's a bad translation of what the word
Okay.
actually was.
Can I just say this? There's two different ways we could be handling this. And by the way, not our problem, so I don't care. But I got two ideas for you. One, South Korea needs to just, whenever they talk about North Korea, they should say North Korea, whose people like to be poor, and just constantly remind them that they live in economic. And here's idea number two: South Korea. I'm pretty sure you guys can afford a laser. So here's what you do: you set up a laser on a tower or something, and then whenever North Korea floats those balloons up, pop, 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 and North Korea gets shit rain on themselves.
Maybe we need to create an Angry Birds app where you've got a laser on one side, and then North Korea's flying poop-filled balloons,
and if you have
to pop them.
If you're really good with it, you get the laser and you pop the balloons only when they arrive in the right spots, and you make the trash spell the word poor. Oh, poor North Korea. All right. I think that's how you. I should not be in charge of diplomacy.
Oh no, by God, I know that. We don't need to put you in charge of anything, really.
No. All right. It's 8:45. Do we have any music? Do we have any more stories?
That's why we let him host the show, ladies and gentlemen.
I mean, look.
I had one more story. And it's not today because it's actually Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. It's actually Thursday. Thursday is D-Day, where the troops landed on Normandy, and it's the 80th anniversary of D-Day.
Oh,
they recreated the jump.
Oh, wow!
For the 80th anniversary. Looking up, look at that. So if you look, let's say you're the enemy looking up at all that, right? No, those are real people. No, wait a minute. I want to make a point. This is a historical thing that you might not know. You might know. Let's say you're the enemy and you're looking up at that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So there's about 20, 25 up there, right?
Yeah.
Real troops.
Yeah.
During World War II, when they would do this, there would be 50 to 80 parachutes and humans dropping down. So if you look in the sky, you will see all of these parachutes, but a majority of them, or some of them, were dummies in parachutes, and they were dummies because they did that to, oh my God, look at how many freaking people are coming up from the sky. They They had the
inflatable, a psychological kind of force.
Yeah, they had the inflatable tanks and jeeps and stuff like that to fool the freaking aircrafts. I worked with a guy that told me about their clicker. Every troop had a clicker, this little thing that clicked. And I think some of the movies you even see this. But he said the clicker was at night and you heard something, you clicked that clicker. And if it didn't click back, that was the bad guy. He said, so you didn't go anywhere without that damn clicker, because you better have that clicker, because if you hear somebody clicking at you,
I've never heard this before.
Up.
For real? I've never seen this depicted at all.
Click. That's what he called it, the clicker. This man on D-Day, on June the 6th, 1944, he was in Italy. And he told me this every time, because I worked with him for years. He worked on the AM station. I worked on the FM on the mornings. And he would tell me he was in Italy. He lived to be like 97 or 98. So anyway, wow. I just thought this was cool. I'm a big history buff. I like stuff like this, and that freaking that landing on the beach of Normandy, Operation Overlord, was just, man, God, I couldn't imagine these dudes.
I never did jumps in the Army or anything like that. I wasn't a Ranger, and I never did that. I did drink with some Rangers, and I had one tell me a frightening story. I'll tell you in a second. Go ahead. Let it.
No, he's just some British guy talking
So
about
here,
this.
so I was out drinking in a bar in South Korea with a ranger who was former ranger because he got injured. This is the way that he got injured on a training flight doing this stuff, but with modern shoots or whatever. He jumped out the plane, and the way that the way they're rigged up is each troop has got his chute on his bag or whatever, and they're hooked up with a link line, and that link line gets hooked to the cable, and then when you jump out, the link line kind of basically opens your chute as you leave. I'm pretty sure.
You could probably see there's the link line right there.
Yeah, and anyway, a boys didn't release, and so he was literally he wasn't free falling. He was attached to the plane while it was going.
Oh, and it was.
Yes, and I think he ended up breaking his leg, and they ended up having to cut him loose, or eventually it broke. I don't know what, but he was frightened to death, dude. He was, I mean, absolutely for legit. Like he was banging on the plane, thinking he was gonna die, and then eventually got cut loose or got released. I don't know what, and made the drop, but something was wrong. And he landed, but he landed too hard, and he ended up breaking his leg or something like that. So, like, you think like, oh, they've got this tech all worked out and it's reliable, but like, stuff goes wrong. Stuff goes wrong.
Fort Campbell is not too far away, 101st Airborne, and they do. We were just driving the other day, and we were looking up. I was looking up, and I was like, look at that helicopter over there, and it was flying. I was like, the closer we got, the more we passed it because it wasn't very far away. I was like, is that a freaking Apache? That looks like an Apache. And Ashley's like, yeah, that's an Apache. I was like, holy crap, you don't see those very often out here. And she's like, yeah, they do training and blah, 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 blah. But we have some accidents sometimes during their jumps. We had 2 helicopters collide during a nighttime jump and kill about 8 of them. And that was just a couple of years ago. They're putting memorials out in the field where the helicopters crashed. It was they do them all the time. So yeah, it's like we've got great technology, but it's not perfect. But yeah, some of that old World War II technology that they use with the inflatables and the clicker was the story that Harl always told me. This old man, his name was Harl Barnett. He worked in radio for like 60 years. He had a voice like this. This is how Harl talked on the radio, just like this right here. This is my impersonation of Harl. And he would talk about the clicker. I was in Italy on D-Day. So, D-Day's coming up June the 6th. It's Thursday. Always try to remember that crap. I've got a lot of family members that were in the military. I would have been in the Air Force if it wasn't for my back. In a different timeline, I went into the Air Force and was in the military police in the Air Force.
Yeah. In an alternate reality.
Yeah, I didn't go because I've had.
And in that reality, you went to Zero Fish concerts. I'm just saying. So you think of like, oh, I could have done this, but think of all the things you wouldn't have done.
I've got the fish. So this week's music here on the show is the theme this week is courtesy of JJW, the skipper. And
oh boy,
you said last week, why shouldn't we should do a Trump theme? Songs for Trump.
Oh, did I? Okay.
You did. Somebody
I forgot, but all right.
So
let's go.
We're doing songs for Trump this week. If you will go over to the Discord server that would magically appear above JJ's head, you will find that our first song is a doozy. Smooth Criminal by Michael Jackson. I think this is the whole like 25-minute long video. I don't know how long it is, but this is the whole video. Smooth Criminal, Michael Jackson.
What's that? He did? Hey, Michael said we could play this. Go ahead. He said we could play this.
Goodness, that coffee tastes like crap. It's choking me.
Oh, no.
So if you have a suggestion for a song for Trump, even if you don't like Trump and you're like, man, you should play this, please come to our Discord server and tell me, and I will add it, and I will say it's from you, and we won't make fun of you. We'll probably make fun of you.
Almost definitely won't.
Definitely probably will make fun of you, but we will give
Deacon
you
might.
I'm mean, though. I'm just... I'm a Gemini. It's my birthday month.
Yeah.
So I'm mean.
Oh, Duguid sent one in already. Duguid already sent one in.
Duguid's on top. Duguid lives in the future. That's why.
He does.
He does.
Literally
It's like,
lives in the
it's
future.
Monday afternoon where he lives. Is that not the future?
It is. Wait, what day is today?
Monday. What, did he send one? Where's it at? I thought you was going to bring it up on the screen.
Oh, yeah. He says tomorrow you should do songs for Trump. Johnny Cash at San Quentin.
Absolutely. I'll find a good one.
I have, okay, so folks, even though we updated our show title about 5 episodes ago, it wasn't until this very morning that I even shared to Deke the updated theme song, because we are now the Internet Dad Show, because we have more than one dads on here.
2 minutes before we
I was like, Deke, cut this real quick. So I have not got the outro updated yet. But
we can play the intro again. Or play the regular outro. We need to hear that one.
I don't know.
Time.
Do you think everybody wants to listen to it? Probably not, right? Probably not. Okay. Let us end this very beautiful episode 301, give or take some. There's some that got, removed from the internet. It's not our fault. It's not our fault.
It's not our collectively fault. It's Deacon's fault. It's my fault.
Plural possessive. It's not a.
I kind of feel like those are a badge of honor. I don't look at those as a bad thing.
Look,
I'm like, oh, really? You know what? I've gotten us kicked off. I've said that. I'm like, we have an internet show. I've gotten us kicked off YouTube like 3 times.
we are banned on Facebook, which is great because I hate Facebook. Yeah. So anyway, you can follow us on YouTube or on rumble.com, the free speech platform. Say that 5 times fast. You can also follow us on Twitter, on x.com.
Whatever.
I'm Jason _JW, and we have the show tag at Internet Dads Show. Internet Dad Show. I think that's what it is. And Deke's on Twitter too, but he's not going to follow us. He doesn't want to get soiled. He doesn't want to get soiled with association.
Following a bunch of freaking D&D
I have
people.
no idea. Yes.
That Twitter is D&D and Trump crap for me.
Yeah. It's awesome. All right. Jokes. Deke. What did one wall say to the other?
Meet you at the corner?
Yes, that's right. Yes.
That's terrible, Joe.
Yes.
That
was not good. That's all right.
I don't know if I've said this.
You guys settle down.
I don't know if I've told you this one before, but I mentioned I do. I read the news here every day. It's the local news for a little small town, and we do obituaries. And one of our local auctioneers, he was an older gentleman. He passed away. He was somewhere around 70, 75, 80, 85, 85, 85, 86, 87.
All right. Thanks for watching, guys. Probably for the last time, the old outro video.
Politicians and talking heads lying left and right. You can help us bring facts into the light. Don't let your daughter lose her next swim meet to a psychopath dude with fake teeth. Tune in now to that show. JJ and Deacon, they're the ones that know. Subscribe quick, the squid monster's on the way.